have such a terrible reputation, it tells you why we are quite a dangerous ideology to the capitalist class. Dangerous to capitalism, because the reason that we're portrayed in such a negative way is because they know that our ideas are very very compelling. And we approach the economy in a scientific basis. We approach how the relationship between the capitalist class and the working class. We do that on an objective and on a scientific basis. That's a very dangerous idea for anyone who's threatened by it. And by that I mean the capitalist class, because their interests are affected by what we're aiming to achieve.
Oh, thank you so much. I think it's come back to me. The obsession that capitalists have with money, greed, creating a massive surplus for the self, enslaving everyone on minimum wage. It seems to be, in my centrist opinion, the mirror image, the other side of the Hegelian dialectic, other side of the coin of Marxists. Again, Marxists are obsessed with money, obsessed with labor, obsessed with the production and all this. Whereas for me, I think capitalists and communists are as bad as each other. That's not really a question, but maybe you can respond to that.
I suppose what you're really saying is that Marxist-Leninism is a form of state capitalism, and we do get that criticism from the left as well. In answer to that, I mean, the point you're making about money, we're not obsessed by money. The second stage is socialism, which is a communist society. We wouldn't have money to begin with. Money is a means of exchange, and it's a means to quantify work that's done, and it's also a means by which profit can be siphoned off from the value of work. We're saying that in a society where where labour is basically the foundation block of that society, there would be no need for money. That's the second stage. State capitalism is something slightly different. That would be the first stage of socialism, where we would need to run the state itself. But that's a process. We can't just have a communist society like that. That's what anarchists want. So I mean, that's just really to try to address your point about money. We're not obsessed with money. We actually want to.
It's more about society, socialism. It's not just the means of production.
Money is just a means for putting value onto work.
To have fair exchange.
By which we can have a profit.
Might I ask you one question?
Go ahead, if you don't mind appearing.
Why you need the money if you can actually have everything you need, which is like by your requirements, everything you need. You don't need money at that time. And that's what a communist society, a full communist society should achieve. That people get their needs by their requirements.
No, I understand. And as I say, philosophically, the spiritual idea that all men are equal, that everyone deserves the same rewards for existing. Nobody asked to exist. I agree. But let me it's not so much a question, it's a statement, and then I'll give you the floor to conclude. The 20th century has shown us centrists that strong ideologies of like far right fascism or far left communism are nothing except reactionary, malicious reactions to failed stability in the system. You know, people were starving in Russia. Next thing you know, everyone loves Lenin. In Cuba, everyone was illiterate, again, starving under Franco. Countryside people treated like slaves. Next thing you know, Fidel Castro, Che Guevara. I don't know enough about Korea, but I know a bit about the corruption in South Vietnam. No wonder they appealed to, Vietnam at the time, very racist, stratified caste system. If you're not in the elite Vietnamese, you're a slave. So again, is communism only a malicious, reactionary, failed ideology to system instability?
Yes, I mean, no. No.
Go on.
What I say at the outset, where you talked about the centrist narrative essentially being that there's reactionary left, reactionary right. The fact is, you put it yourself. You make that narrative. The centrist narrative is that we are terrible, the fascists are terrible. We thousands and thousands of communists have died fighting fascism. We're not the same thing. We're the polar opposites. The point goes back to what I was saying before, that communism is a dangerous idea to the capitalist class, and it is imperative that the capitalist class equates our manifesto, if you like, to fascism. So we're considered these totalitarian evil twins. We're actually anti. But that's because that's your narrative. So you would say that.
Yes.
We're saying that capitalism and fascism are two bedfellows as well. Capitalism was the foundation for fascism in Germany, fascism in Spain, and it was actually used to propel the existing status quo in those countries. So fascism is just a means to create further profit and to destroy working class movements. We're the opposite to that. We're basically saying that we can see that centrism is just a mask for reactionary right-wing authoritarian governments around the world.
My neutrality is siding with the powerful, that sort of idea.
Well, I suppose it's more a case of that your neutrality is. I mean, I would say I'm neutral, but I would say that, but I'm the main, the main protagonist in my own narrative.
Yes.
So are you. So
Yes.
obviously you would say that your point of view and the centrist narrative is the correct. But I'm saying that it's not correct. It just happens to be that the Americans won the Second World War on the Western Front, and they also won the Cold War. So the narrative has been defined by the winners. That's how history operates.
Oh, of course.
But it's not true to say that the Soviet Union or any of these communist countries have created havoc and chaos and ruined people's lives. You look at every single one of the countries that have been Marxist in the 20th century. Look at where they started from, and look where they were by the end.
Sure.
I mean, Cuba was a feudal society. Russia was a feudal society. China is it's one of the most powerful countries in the world now, and it's a technological and scientific superpower, as was the USSR. These countries don't become so successful by brutalizing their populations. I mean, it seems absurd to think that in the 1920s and 1930s, people were being rounded up in the streets and sent to gulags, while simultaneously also having the technological ability to go to space within 20 years. You know, people aren't forced to do that. There was tremendous achievements that were done by the communist governments.
All right,
so
now,
that's my point.
Final one, and for 10 points, name me the first ever dog in space.
Laika.
Good man. Like a boss. Mate, shake my hand. Thank you very much. What a gentleman group of people and lady. It's Charlie Veitch. Please subscribe and you'll see this on the channel tonight.
No problem.
Thanks guys, appreciate that.